one of the things I'm often asked is how, when you're working with a team with systemic modelling, what do you do if the team's very negative? What if all they want to do is talk about problems? And one of the first things that I'll do with that is initially just to notice it. Is whatever answer I get, so if I say, if this project was to work really well for you, it'll be like what? And they say, well, there's no point even doing this because whatever you do, the boss will undermine it. So whatever we do, the boss will undermine it. What kind of undermine? So you treat the answer just as if they'd given you an outcome. Ask them a couple of clean questions about it. So who's different to that? And if they all give you a problem, or even if 70% of them give you a problem when you've asked for an outcome, then you can feed it back to them as evidence. But I wouldn't try to make them give me an outcome. I would accept whatever the group is doing and then just feed it back as a pattern. So I might then go, so tell you what I'm noticing. So I'm asking you what you'd like to have happen. And you're saying whatever happens, the boss will undermine you. And you're saying it doesn't matter what you do because the wider system will hold things in place. And you're saying that you're not willing to go there because anyone who changes around here gets a stab in the back. And you're saying, so what I'm noticing is I'm asking for an outcome. And what I'm getting is all of the things that will go wrong. And I'm just wondering, where does this come from? And when it's all like that, what would you like to have happen? So the model that I'm applying at that stage is, it's a slight adaptation from Penny Tompkins and James Lawley's problem, remedy, outcome model. In their model, when they're contracting for coaching or psychotherapy, they are asking their client, what would they like to have happen? If the client gives them a problem, they expand the problem, but then they say, and when there's all of that problem, what would you like to have happen? And they're moving their client from a problem frame to an outcome frame of reference. And that's important for them because they want to be contracted to what it is that they are moving towards. The slight difference with systemic modelling is that rather than moving the client from a problem frame to an outcome frame, you need to move around. Instead of an individual system, you're looking at a system of individuals. So you accept wherever they are. You're still asking who's not like that, who's different again. But if they're problem focused, you need to meet them where they are. And then you might feed that back to them and then ask the whole group. So when there's this, this and this, and you brought these consultants in for a change programme, what would you like to have happen? And then you'll, again, accept whatever they give. If they say, well, we don't want to go on a change programme, we need to feed back to the management that they're crap, or we don't want to go on a change programme because it's not us that needs to change. I may then take that as feedback and move that back to the project sponsor and say, there appears to be a problem frame that this is existing within, or I might then hold them with that. If I've got nowhere else to go with the contract, I might hold them with that and go, okay, and we're here. And you don't want to change. And I'm contracted to spend 3 days with you. What would make this 3 days the best use of your time? And I think that ability to stay with it and hold the group where they are, I think part of that came from the fact that I started with teenagers and it was, they had no contract with me to change. And I just had to meet them where they were, and being with that, staying in that space and keeping on inquiring into that space while acknowledging it and staying respectfully in it, it created an opportunity for change, for new ideas to happen. Generally, if you hold them, somebody will come up with something, well, we could do this, well, we could do that. I'm willing to try that. And because you've stayed with them, not gone into it, but stayed with them, held them, acknowledged it, and then said, okay, so what should we do with this time? Usually things will just shift.